Hi, I'm Arlee Bird from the blog Tossing It Out. I'm here at Red Rock Recording Studio in Los Angeles, California for my March 2015 edition of Alex J. Kavanaugh's Insecure Writers Support Group. With me is Sebastian Sidi, who is one of the competitors in my most recent Battle of the Bands post. I hope you've had a chance to visit that post and vote on your favorite song version, and if you haven't, please visit after you've finished here. And now let's meet our very special guest, the multi-talented and extremely nice guy, Sebastian Sidi. Hello, Sebastian, and welcome to Tossing It Out.
Hello, and thank you for having me, and welcome to Red Rock Studios.
Thank you.
It's great to do this, yeah.
As a means of introduction, please tell us who you are and what do you do?
Well, you already know, my name is Sebastian Sidi, and I am a self-promoted and self-marketed musician. So I'm primarily piano. I play piano for a living. I go out throughout the country and perform at different outdoor venues and just sell my music and share my music. And that's primarily what I do for what I've been doing for a living for the past almost 15 years now.
Okay. And what exactly do you do here at Red Rock Studios? Well,
initially I built the studio for myself so I could, have full control on when I record and how I record. Mm-hmm. But little by little I noticed that there was artist interest in having me help in their productions. So now what I do here is basically produce different bands, different artists. As you can see, we have drums, we have a baby grand, we have a vocal booth, basically everything any artist would need to come and record a CD.
Mm. Yeah, it's very, very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, I've seen you perform a number of times and watch you interact with fans, and you exude this sense of self-confidence and reassurance in what you do. How or who is it that has instilled this sense of self-confidence within you?
Well, hands down, that would be my father. Okay. My father has always shown me throughout the years that you just got to go for it. I mean, he's embarked on so many different types of journeys, as far, experimenting with different kinds of careers, and it doesn't matter whether you fail or not, as long as you just go for it. Because if you don't try, then you're never gonna know. So you have to live with that. Yeah. So he's shown me that you can fail at something and then start something new and then succeed at something else. So I mean, there's nothing to we really have nothing to lose in just putting our best foot forward in anything we do.
Now I imagine surely there must be times when you might feel some sense of insecurity. What do you do? How do you overcome this sense?
I'm not saying I'm not insecure. I think we're all insecure. It's, anytime I go up on a stage, I'm scared as heck. Okay?
Really?
But the moment I step on the stage, I am responsible for the emotions of the people in the audience. So whether I'm nervous or not, even if I have to pretend for a minute, I have to exude that confidence to relax others. And once that's done, once you take that step, that initial step, then you see the people relaxed, and then you're truly confident because you have them in a relaxed environment. Now,
currently you're mentoring a lot of young people with their singing and musical abilities, and over the years you've dealt with a lot of seasoned musicians. In this process, what do you do to help instill confidence within those people to bring out their best?
Well, the first thing I clarify to any of these kids that come in here, I have a lot of kids coming in right now because I'm producing a concert showcase at the Downey Theater on April 19th. So I have, the parents coming in here with a lot of stories of, producers and these people and those people that have been promising them the world. The first thing I let them know is that I'm not one of those people.
Good.
I'm not in a position to make them succeed, make them famous. If I were in that position, I'd be in that position. I'd be applying that
Famous,
towards myself. We would be sitting in a Malibu studio in a big mansion, you know, doing this interview.
Yeah.
But what I do like to help them with is helping establish them and their presentation, that in order for them to not have to rely on becoming a hit, to actually be involved in music and make a living. Because I may not be famous, I may not be rich, but I get to wake up every day and walk into this room because I'm self-contained, you know, even though it's just to this level, it's enough to be able to wake up and, you know, and sit in this room or play an instrument. This is what I do for a living now.
Yeah.
So I like to keep it realistic, and I like to arm them with the tools to have control over their careers, you know, enough where they can be active and profit financially at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
And you set a good example for that because, you know, you are living the dream that many aspiring musician has of, you're actually making a living at doing this,
right,
and have done this for a number of years. And it doesn't matter that much whether you're famous. The fact is you're doing something, you have a fan base.
It would be great to be famous and all that, all that great stuff, but, you know, I'm very grateful to have this career now. You know?
Oh yeah, I agree. Now what you're doing, you're in the music and entertainment business, which is, you know, it's different, but it's not that far off from what authors do. You know, they're you know, a lot of the authors they're trying to make it just like you are, and but they have a lot of them have issues about self-confidence and interacting with the public, and you know, being self-supportive of the work that they do. What advice would you give to these insecure authors, or anybody that's feeling insecure about what they're doing?
Well, for the authors, first you have to, you know, practice some social activities. I mean, if you're not speaking to people, if you're locking yourself in a cave, but part of moving forward is to, you know, to spread your own word of your book, you need to go out and talk to people about what you're doing. And I think it's important. For example, I actually have a friend who's in the process of writing a book, okay? And he keeps delaying the process, and he's not sure if it's going to be good or not, and he's almost done with it, and I keep telling him, just finish it and print it. You know, you need to have it in your hands, because once you have it in your hands, then your whole mentality towards what you're doing changes. Because you have something to show, you know, because you have something that gives you some credibility, you know, and you can't wait for approval from people to decide if you're going to actually go through with it or not. You should do it, put it out there, and then search for the people that are interested in what you're doing.
So that comes with believing in your dream and you making sure that it happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And you know, many of these authors are concerned about meeting with the public, or being, you know, confident about their work, and they have a problem with the act of marketing. I mean, that's probably the most daunting thing for most authors, is marketing. What other suggestions might you have for marketing what you have produced?
For me, the first thing I look at is, depending on when and where you're marketing, okay, I look at what are people's perception of you when they see you. Say for example, let's just say for example that one of the authors decides to actually go and do do a speaking engagement, okay, where he's promoting a book. Right. Okay, well, what are the people going to see? Are they going to see a book that's, you know, printed on real cheap paper? Is it going to be a black and white cover? Or is it going to be a nice quality book with a thick cover and a nice picture of that person? Okay, did you use a picture that your cousin took at a barbecue as the picture in the back, or did you actually go and hire a photographer in a photo studio to take a real good quality picture? You know, are there posters? You know, big posters by your table where your books are, that show, you know, the book and the pricing and are you accepting credit cards? I mean, all these little things that people are looking at that's going to make them feel secure about what they're buying. Right. You know, your packaging is just as important as your product.
So you just don't jump into something and just say, okay, I'm going to do this and people are going to buy it. You plan. You go out and you know, really make out a strategy,
yes,
a marketing strategy that's going to sell you.
Yeah, you have to have just little tiny goals and execute them, and just boom, 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 boom. And before you know it, you're like, whoa, I just went from here to here, but you know, just to taking those little steps, you know.
Yeah. And you kind of alluded to this a moment ago, but you are also currently doing photography and video and.
Yeah, I'm doing video now. I'm doing some music videos for people. You know, promotional videos. I'm directing photo shoots. Some of the artists that are coming in here, you know, they want an album cover, they want a poster. So I will go to the photo shoot and basically direct, you know, some of the things I want them to do. You know, for example, you know, they're insecure about the poses they're gonna do. Mm-hmm. So I'm there to help them out, give them some direction, and then eventually they kind of start doing their own thing too. Yeah. You know, but it's important to have that, you know, that someone there to kind of help them out a little bit. There's people that have done photo shoots so many times that they could just go in and strike all kinds of poses, right. You know. But I'm dealing with young artists right now that are kind of overwhelmed that they're even at a photo shoot. You know, most of them never been to a photo shoot.
Right. And,
you know.
So. And you've learned all this through your experience, so, you know, years of experience, and I guess that adds a lot to your confidence. I mean, having the education, having the knowledge, having
sure.
that experience, it all takes away a lot of that insecurity.
I have to admit, I was very stubborn about learning from others at one point. You know, like, I just wanted to kind of learn in my own way.
Yeah.
And because I guess I rather make a mistake from the decision I made as opposed to a mistake from a decision someone made for me.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm at a point where I can I've kind of found a balance where
right.
I'm still in control of the ultimate decision, but I have opened my mind to absorb information and accept opinions and critiques and try different things, and then ultimately I'm confident if I don't agree with it. Mm-hmm. You know, so I kind of found a nice place in that respect. I'm kind of excited about that new level of maturity. Right. I would say, you know, on my end. Yeah.
And obviously that's been working for you, just judging by, you know, what you have here and what you've been doing out in the field, so to speak, and the concerts and the engagements. It's working.
Yeah,
you know,
it's working. And you know, the thing about being in an artistic career, whether it's music or acting or writing, you got to keep the wheels turning, and that's the biggest fear. Because when you have a job, when you're working for someone, you have that peace of mind that, you know, you're going to get up, you're going to go to wherever it is that you work, and it's there.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And if it's going to end, you're probably going to get some heads up on it, and you'll probably be able to plan to go to another place where you're going to work. But with this, it's very inconsistent.
Yes.
So you're always got to be not even one step ahead of the game, but like 10 steps ahead of the game.
Yeah. Stakes are much higher.
Yeah. So I'm always working, and sometimes I work extra fast so I can actually take a breather for a couple days, you know, so I kind of make up for it. But I hardly ever take a break, you know. I mean, it's the downfall to being in this kind of an environment, you know.
Right. And same goes for writers. I mean, if they, you know, they got to keep writing. They got to keep turning out material. You can't just take a break.
Yeah, and you got to keep booking places to go and speak about your book and you know and promote your book. You got to keep up with your calendar, you know.
And that whole marketing, the speaking, and all that kind of stuff is the terrifying thing that most, you know, a great many writers express, that, you know, they just can't do it. But the fact is, nobody else is going to do it for them. Sebastian, thank you for joining us today and sharing your time and this wonderful information. I'm sure it's been quite helpful to many people. And thank you for allowing us to use your Red Rock recording studio for this is the very first video edition of Tossing Out that we've ever done.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's kind of exciting. So we do want to thank you. And as I said, if you haven't voted on the Battle of the Bands post, be sure to go to that post and vote for your favorite. And also, at the bottom of the page, you'll find a number of links to tell more about who Sebastian is, what he does, where you can buy his recordings, and also information about the Red Rock Recording Studio, which may possibly come in handy for some of you. So take a look at those links, and thank you for joining us. I'm Arlee Bird.
And I'm Sebastian Sidi.
And I gotta fly.
Bye-bye. Thank you.